road. My goal isn't just to survive 100 days, but to actually establish self-sustainability, build a great base, create a nuclear reactor, make a nuclear bomb, and finally create and launch a rocket to escape onto the moon as I nuke this world. Will I pull this off? There's only one way for you to find out. Enjoy the video. Right as I spawned in, I collected the contents of 2 chests, one being the default Minecraft vanilla chest containing stuff you see on the screen, and another one containing 4 torches, a dirt block and a sapling, as well as an iron all-in-one multi-tool and 8 pieces of canned meat, which I knew won't keep me alive for long, so I had to act really quick. I should start really doing something, and I'm going all in. Using vein mining, I mined down, and to my surprise, I found a cave, so in hope of finding food, I decided to go deeper. Yo, what is this? Is this fish? Because if that's fish, then this means we have food. But I wonder if it's like poisonous or something. Yo, come on, die. Now let me check. Can I eat this? Yeah, I can eat this. This means we have food. Great. I only have 4 torches from the chest, so I'm gonna take this lantern with me. Because then I can hold it in my hand and it will illuminate everything around me. It's okay. What is this? Bro, leave me alone, man. What is going on? This is Brainiac, a deadly mutated mob that can attack from a great distance. Eventually, we'll have to fight him, so keep that in mind. Luckily, as I was trying to run away by mining down, I found another cave with another structure inside. Yes, it's open space. I breached over and inside I found a barrel with some food, and then I decided to breach over to a small island to create a temporary base, but this happened. No! Yo, this is perfect. Oh no. As it turns out, I lost the dirt somewhere, which doesn't allow me to place the sapling. Well, kind of, because I can still place it on the mud, which opens the first chapter of progress. The Wood Age. Perfect, and now I gotta wait until this grows. Yo! Finally. My first goal is to create a mesh sieve through which I can sieve dirt in order to get rocks that allow me to craft cobblestone. So I've built a little tree farm, and to get the dirt I crafted an oak barrel which allows us to convert any organic matter, including the excess of saplings, into dirt blocks. Now also to create the mesh I had to get strings. In order to do that I crafted a wooden crook which makes leaves drop silkworms, which then we gotta infect the leaves with, and then by harvesting them we get the strings, which is exactly what I did. So let me infest both of the sides, and again we gotta wait until all of the trees get infested with this, and using crook I can get strings out of it. Yeah, and this was my last piece of food. All I have left are 2 raw salmons, so I really gotta progress real quick. Using the wood I collected and the strings from the infested leaves, I could finally make a so-called oak sieve as well as a string mesh, which when combined allow me to sieve the dusty blocks like sand, gravel, and in my case, the dirt from the barrel to get stuff like seeds and cobblestone rocks out of it. This is our first piece of cobblestone. We've unlocked this Stone Age. This is perfect. Like, oh, and I just forgot, I can make more cobblestone using this recipe. The recipe that you see allows me to infinitely craft cobblestone, and here is how it works. Rad rock is the main type of stone present in this world, and it is everywhere. Sulfur is present in sulfur clusters, which are everywhere too. Gravel, however, can be obtained by destroying the cobblestone with a hammer, and the flint can be obtained by destroying the gravel. Now if you look at the fact that this results in 8 blocks of cobblestone, you'll realize it is basically an infinite loop. We've got 32 rad rock, and now we need flint. And once again, we're getting 8 cobblestone. Bro, we are balling 41 cobblestone. Let's make a furnace. Now that I had infinite cobblestone, I could infinitely hammer it down into gravel, which I could infinitely sieve into ores, which we need to progress further. Yo, we've got diamonds! Nevertheless, the problem is that making cobblestone like that is really slow and time consuming. So when my brain finally kicked back in, I decided to build the pinnacle of survival Minecraft, a cobblestone generator. Yo, we've got lava. If I combine water with lava, we get cobblestone. After some trickery, I finally got the cobblestone generator up and running, which meant that now I had infinite cobblestone that I could infinitely crush into gravel using the hammer that I could then sieve into ores. And after a long time of actually doing this, I realized that this in itself won't get me anywhere and that I should get out of this shithole as soon as possible. So using a crafting table, I compacted all the gravel that I had so that I could take it with me, as well as made some diamond tools, and here is what happened next. And now here comes the thing. Our goals are pretty simple. Number 1 is to get out of here, make a base that has food and automatic ore generation. What I mean by that is, number 1, We need some sort of food that's better than those ugly radioactive fish. So we'll make some kind of a, I don't know, probably plant-based food generation system. And another thing is that we need automatic ore generation system, because what we have to do right now is to use the hammer to manually mine the cobblestone, then come up here, sieve it through those oak sieves, and this just takes so much time. So what we will do is create something that will do this for us, so that we can focus on the real shit, like the third point, which is reactors, rockets, nuclear bombs, and just going out of this place. But we have to establish self-sustainability and just get out of this shithole that we are in right now. I have the things with me, so I have 2 water buckets, I have the lava bucket, so I have infinite water, I can make a cobblestone generator, I have some iron with me, I have some diamonds, I have my flint mesh, I need saplings, I need torches, I will need some mud to make dirt out of it and all the stuff. Alright, 2 stacks is more than enough. Yeah, now is my time to get out of here. So yeah, let me get out of here. Alright, so we are back at the ground level, and I just noticed one thing: the world is being corrupted. This is happening because the world is not being generated as it should, but you know what, I do not care. I will make my base in this mountain. This looks beautiful actually. Bro, just imagine a big base in here. My name up there, I'm doing this. I don't care, I wanna have my base here, and I will make my base here. Oh shit, I just ran out of food. I said that we need self-sustainability and we need food, and I completely forget about the food. And now I'm stuck with 6 silkworms and just some sulfur that I can use to smelt the worms. And that's all I have to eat. There is nothing else I can eat actually. So, change of plans. We started making the base, but I'm gonna make a simple rat guild farm, and you know, come on, it's already made for me. The mother nature of Minecraft has gifted me a pre-made rat guild farm. As you can see, this acid flowing right here makes the rat guilds spawn, and because they flow out of this acid, they start dying, which means that we have food. This is food. Oh no. Right. Yeah, I think I will make a farm similar to this. We have no armor, no food, no anything, but we are balling anyways. Let me make a wall, actually. Take this. But we just gotta focus on working. Like, we just gotta put the grind in. Let's make 3 pieces of white wool. Let's make a bed. Bro, I gotta calm down for real. It's another day. Let's go. Alright, so let's make... Hell nah, bro, what the? Yeah, let's make some chests. Let's make a simple storage. A water source. Let's make a cobblestone generator. Let's make just a bunch of stuff that I know we gotta use. Now, to make the cobblestone generator, I think I'll just make... Let me think about this. So all I have to do is to just make the water flow like so. Bro, really? Nah, bro, this is messed up. I'm taking my lava back. You know what? Let me redesign this. Ta-da! It is working. Yeah, so we have a cobblestone generator. That's good. We have an infinite water source. Now we need food. I know that this exists, but I think there is a better choice, and that would be to bring it closer so that it actually drops the rat gills in on itself. I'm gonna take the acid. Oh shit, bro, no, leave me alone. Yeah, so now let's just place this right here, and we should start getting rat gills. And now our next goal is to get seeds that I can plant. So like, you know, the basic wheat seeds, the pumpkin seeds, the everything else, just food. And in order to get that, I actually have no idea how I can do this. I mean, the strength this gives grass seeds, right? So I can then turn them into moss block. And if I place the moss block, build around with mud, and now use bone meal on this moss block, this will turn into moss as well. So this leaves us with infinite moss. And now we can sieve the moss in the mesh, and that will drop us seeds. So we've got this sorted out. The problem is that we have no bones or bone meal. Yeah, so now all we gotta do is just watch the sunset, wait until skeletons start spawning in, and when they do, we're gonna go to sleep, wake up, and see how they burn and drop the bones that we need. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think that should be enough. Let me go to sleep and let's see if my strategy works. It's been invented by me, so it has to work, right? Yeah, they are burning, right? See? Told you. Now all that we have to do is just use the bone meal on this. Yeah, bro, come on, fight me. See? My strategy worked. We got the bones. We got some arrows too. We could make a bow and fight. Yeah, so we've got 5 bones. And we can turn them into bone meal. And now if I just right click, we are getting some flowers and other stuff. We are getting some grass which drops seeds, as you can see right here. But most importantly, we can collect the moss and then we can sieve it later. Little did I know that moss doesn't really drop seeds when sieved, which I will realize soon. Yeah, so we got 54 blocks of moss, and now... Wait, hold up. I don't want to get distracted, but all this is food. Bro, we are balling. We are like simultaneously at the edge of dying and simultaneously winning on the other side. Yeah, so let me place the furnace, let me place the radicals inside. And now let's place the flint mesh. Actually, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, this starts to look kind of good. It's a pretty nice base, actually. Alright, let me put the oak sieves right here. Place the flint mesh inside. And now let's sieve the moss block through it. And as you can see, it's dropping seeds. And it's dropping saplings. It's dropping stuff that we need. Actually, it isn't. Actually, it is not. As I said before, sieving moss does not drop seeds. What it does drop, however, is a bunch of plants which are organic matter, which can be made into dirt by placing them into the oak barrel. So after doing exactly that, I was left with a bunch of dirt, and here is what I realized soon after that. And now, although dirt mostly drops pebbles, it does drop seeds too. As you can see, we've got a carrot, we've got a potato, we've got some sugarcane, so we're good to go. Nevertheless, we need bone meal too, and guess what? We can make bone meal using the same strategy, just this time we're gonna use a composter, and we're gonna put the excess of the moss into the composter. This is an infinite loop too, because I can take the moss, I can grow it, and we are getting more moss this way. Now I can put the excess into the composter, get bone meal, and now I can repeat the process as many times as I want. The only thing that we need for this is mud. And mud is infinite, because combining water with this gives mud. And actually we've got... Bro, we've got so much food. Bro, no way. Let me count how many we've got. 37 passive income. Yeah, so let me put all this into the furnace. Let me eat the previous cooked radicals. The bad thing is that they are giving a poison effect sometimes, or hunger effect, I don't know which one. Yeah, but coming back to the topic. Moss is organic matter too, which means that it can be directly made into dirt in the barrel without the sieving in between. And because we have infinite moss, it appears to be the best way to make more dirt. But, once again, my brain came up with a better strategy for making even more dirt. And guess what? We can turn this dirt into more dirt by combining it with just basic gravel with the dirt, and we got 4 coarse dirt. We use the hoe to make it back into normal dirt, we collect the dirt, and we repeat the process as many times as we want. Now that I had infinite dirt, I made a simple farm and planted the plants that I had from sieving the dirt before. Alright, so we do have the farm ready. We do have a bunch of saplings, and now all we should start actually is just the create mod, which, if you know, isn't that easy if you never played it before. But luckily for us, I did, and we need to start with the most basic thing, which is the andesite alloy, which is the main element of create mod in itself. So andesite alloy is being made, you probably guessed it, from andesite, combined with either iron nuggets or zinc nuggets. The iron isn't the problem. What is the problem then? The andesite. We can make andesite by combining cobblestone, which we do have plenty of, and diorite, which seems to be a problem because it doesn't generate naturally in this world. However, diorite can be made by combining mud with gravel, which are things that we do have in this world, but also it can be made from combining cobblestone and quartz. There's also a third method of getting andesite, and that is using different variations of the pebbles that can be crafted into the representing blocks. For example, the andesite pebble can be crafted into this andesite block. And I do have a bit of andesite already, and let's just create the andesite alloy, which opens this, I don't know which chapter of automation. So let's craft the andesite alloy. Ta-da! We have the andesite alloy. Our very first contraption that we'll make using create is a water wheel. 8 planks and 1 andesite shaft. Ta-da! We've got a water wheel. So now we can place a cog, and then if we connect a smaller gear, we are getting half the torque but 2 times the speed out here. And now this allows us to automate our stuff. For example, we can make a drill that will mine the block that's in front of it. If you don't know it yet, the create mod allows us to automate stuff using the rotational energy. My very first idea was to automate the cobblestone generator so that the cobblestone gets mined automatically without my presence. The system I used was just a mechanical drill which destroys the cobblestone in front of it, and then a hopper just catches that cobblestone and puts it into a chest. Very simple, but it works. So yeah, right now it is raining, which stops me from doing quite literally anything. So what I'll do is I'll just try and expand my base a bit so that I have more space here. Right, the base is a bit bigger, but it's still raining, so let's use that time to get some ores by sieving them. Damn, 6 diamonds already. This is crazy. This doesn't really change much. Yes, we'll have a lot of diamonds. No, bro, what? Yeah, we'll do have a lot of diamonds, but that doesn't really benefit us because our goal isn't to have much diamonds. Our goal is to escape on a rocket. Let me just remind you one more time. I just realized a few things. We can upgrade the flint mesh that we already have into an iron mesh, which yields more ores, and then we can go to golden, and then diamond, and then netherite. Also, I just realized that we can make this, which is a compressed sieve, which means that we can place compressed gravel, which means 9 gravels, into one sieve and sieve 9 gravel in one go. So instead of making 9 diamond meshes, we can make just 1 diamond mesh and still sieve 9 gravels in one go. We're gonna take the flint mesh, upgrade this into an iron mesh, upgrade the iron mesh into a gold mesh, and then upgrade the gold mesh into a diamond mesh, which has almost the highest yield of ores. So, but the thing is that we are getting more ores, but we're not getting the pebbles anymore. The only type of pebbles we're getting is a deep slate pebble, which would be not possible to obtain normally. We still have a lot of gravel to sieve, so let's just do this. Bro, 58 diamonds. What the actual... I'm not complaining though. Alright, so these are the ore chunks. Let's convert them into basic ores. Alright, so these are all of the ores that we have. And it would be really bad to go and smelt them one by one in this furnace. So what we're gonna do instead is gonna use the create mod in order to create a contraption that will let... Ah, what the actual... Well, that was unexpected. If that guy would go and explode, then... Don't tell me he'll go into my base, bro. There's actually no way for us to do anything if you have a nuclear creeper inside of our base. Although this can be considered cheating a bit, but I'll make a super long tunnel and I'll go into this tunnel. Also, I'll go into my base. Take some food and I'll just make a long tunnel. The creeper will despawn because I'll be so far away. I'm not gonna risk exploding my base, bro. We'll see, you know. Oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good either. At least we found a cave entrance. No, bro, leave me alone. Bro. Alright, let's just see if this guy is still waiting for me in front of my base or not. Hello? It's me. Yeah, bro went away. That's good. Anyways, coming back to the gameplay. We have so many diamonds that it's kind of crazy. 58 diamonds, 43 diamonds, 1 stack and 37. I think it would make sense for me to make a diamond chestplate and a whole diamond armor. Bro, diamond armor from nothing. I just want to remind you that we started from nothing and now we got a diamond armor, even though diamonds do not spawn in this world. Coming back to the topic. Oh no, bro, another mob, Brainiac. Hello? I think I'm good. Bro! Alright, I think we're good. I think we're good. Oh shit. You know what? I think I'll fight this guy. I think I can do this. Let's go. I gotta make a shield real quick. Alright, we're good to go. Let's go for it. Right, low HP. Bro! This thing allows us to create a nuclear furnace. If we had 8 of these, we could make a nuclear furnace, which would help us a lot to smelt all of these ores into ingots. However, now, as I said, Create mod allows us to smelt things using a feature called bulk blasting. So let's create as much of andesite alloy as possible. We gotta take a few of oak logs, turn them into andesite casing because we will need them. We're gonna create a press, a mechanical press. Now if I place the mechanical press and another crank, I can compress iron into iron plates, which we will need because they will serve as the blades of the fan. Right, now we can create the propeller and we can create the encased fan. Alright, so I think I'll make my smeltery right here. So I'm gonna place 3 water wheels right here. I'm gonna let the water flow right like so. So now if I place lava right here, then this air that was right here becomes super hot. So now if I place my ores into here, they will start smelting into ingots all at once. You don't have to wait, they're gonna all turn into ingots very soon. Now the plan is to gather as many resources as possible, so then we can focus solely on creating all of the machines instead of having to sieve gravel whenever we lack some material. I expanded the base just a little bit so that we have enough space to crush cobblestone into gravel or gravel into sand or sand into dust. I also upgraded the cobblestone generator. Now it mines 5 blocks at once and all of the cobblestone goes into a so-called compacting drawer, which stores it both as its normal and compressed variant, meaning I can just pull out whichever one I need. I used the same drawers to compact gravel, sand and dust, which made the whole process at least 5 times faster. Instead of having to craft the compressed, let's say gravel, manually, I could just double right click with gravel at the drawer and then take out its compressed variant in just few seconds. I also added 7 more sieves and made it so that the drops go into a hole where I can collect them later. Now after sieving thousands of stacks of gravel, sand and dust, I was finally ready to stop worrying about surviving and collecting materials and start the biggest chapter of progress. This is where we finally start to make the machines, the storage system, and finally the nuclear bomb, the nuclear reactor, and the rocket itself. This means we finally left the chapter of trying to survive and we are moving into the chapter of taking over this world.